Ahoy there, I'm Panderbander. It's Update 37 PTS Patch Notes Day. Yeah! There are a number of changes coming in this patch, but I know what you really want to know. How is this going to affect Werewolf? To summarize, we're actually getting a small buff this patch. I'll get to that, but first, some things you might be interested in as a, quote, furry role player. Check the link in the corner for the source of that. There are 2 new dungeons, and a set of rewards for the worthy coming out this patch, and there's a few gems here that I will certainly be making use of. To start, in the Balsanar dungeon, we have Nixhound's Howl and the Roxa the Warped sets. Nixhound's Howl has some beefy weapon damage itemization, giving 3 lines of weapon and spell damage and a 5-piece that applies major cowardice to your target while giving you major courage for 1 second per 1000 weapon and spell damage you have with a 12-second cooldown. Since werewolves have the strongest weapon and spell damage modifier in the game, this should be easy for us to keep a decent uptime on the buff for bursting down targets. For reference, by the way, that's a 430 weapon damage swing in both directions. The Roxa the Warped monster set is a sort of 2-piece equivalent to the Death Dealer's Fate. It gives try recovery on the 1 piece and 8 try recovery for each second you're in combat, meaning altogether the set will give a full 310 magicka, stamina, and health recovery after just 30 seconds in combat. This could be a viable replacement or potential option for sustain if you'd rather run something other than Wretched or Eternal Vigor. The next dungeon, Scrivener's Hall, has a light set that could be useful on dot builds. The Runecarver's Blaze set causes your dots to deal flame damage on the 3rd damage tick. This damage will also apply the burning status effect, adding another dot to the mix, though it appears that status effects, poisons, and set-produced dots cannot cause procs, and only the 3rd tick of a dot will proc the set. Next up, in the rewards for the worthy, there is the Shell Splitter set. This set gives 3 lines of penetration and a 5-piece that gives an additional 631 penetration for each time your attacks are blocked, up to 1 stack every half a second. This means the set alone can grant a total of 17,081 penetration just on its own. Stack Sharpened Weapons, the Force of Nature passive, and Major and Minor Breach, and this could very well leave your targets practically naked. There are some additional sets that could see widespread use, such as Snake in the Stars, but for my money, I'll be investing in these. Now, for combat changes. Werewolves will be seeing a boost to our light attack damage. The base scaling of these attacks has been reworked a bit further, increasing the scaling of our light attacks by 20% and placing a cap on the damage they can cause at 4,813 damage. From my testing, I was able to hit the damage cap on a build I have on both the PTS and live at around 6,000 weapon damage and 27,000 stamina, though the damage I did output was about 800 or so more damage per light attack on the PTS than on live with that same setup. In most cases here, I'd say this is a buff to Werewolf. The bigger change to Werewolf is the Howl of Despair morph of Piercing Howl. This ability on live gives allies a synergy that gives them the Empower buff when activated, which, if you've paid attention to recent changes, was effectively a useless morph in all but the most niche cases. Now though, the ability's synergy will grant both Empower and Minor Force, and, importantly, can be self-synergized. For those werewolves not currently using Oakensoul or receiving Minor Force from some other source, this could actually be a meaningful choice now. One other thing that you as a werewolf enjoyer might find interesting. The Bloodthirsty trait has been boosted a bit to start out at 210 weapon damage against targets under 90% health, though the max damage is the same. This is overall a boost to the trait, with 3 Bloodthirsty giving 420 more weapon damage when it first kicks in versus live. As a disclaimer, all of this is from the first week of the PTS and is subject to change, but I've got some hope for this patch. If you think I've missed something that will affect werewolves either positively or negatively, let me know in the comments below, and as always, like, subscribe, and hit that alerts button.